of cards and decks. Still not your turn, Toshi. We'll get to you. But Raid is something I really, really wanted to talk about because I screwed people over by not understanding how to play Raid. So I thought that the Raid ability only mattered to play it on top of a character to be able to quick attack. This is not all Raid does. And even the official rules here, I don't think matter. Like, the only thing that I think clarifies anything is this last little fucking line of text right here. But let's just go through it all just because. Place the card on top of a specific character, unless you're playing Yellow Bleach. Abilities apply to the character under the raid card no longer apply, and abilities on that character become inactive. Now, that almost makes you think about, like, that almost makes sense, right?
Yeah, because you're playing on top of a guy.
Yeah.
The guy that you're playing him on top of no longer is really there because he's this next guy. No, that makes sense.
Well, this is where I thought I was being told that, oh, the raid or the effects under the character of raid don't matter unless you raid a character. I thought that's what that meant. Like, I thought that's where they were getting this from. And I was like, this has got to be a reading comprehension thing. And people just don't understand, like, misinterpreted this. But what you said is right. Like, the character no longer exists that you raid. If the character is resting, switch it to active. That character may be moved to the front line if it is on the energy line. When play abilities on the character performing raid, activate. I think this is the most important line. Cards with raid may also be played normally. However, any abilities contained within the raid description are lost. So I screwed quite a few people over because I told them that no, the abilities still activate. And I played.
Because they seem separate from the raid block of text. But it sounds like what we're talking about is that that's not the case. Realistically, anything beneath the raid moniker is part of raid. Is that what we're saying?
Right. Like, don't good character to specify, because I haven't seen it, but there's apparently a box within characters that have raid, and anything that's under raid and in that box means that if you don't raid, then this effect doesn't matter. But I think there are characters in future sets that have effects above the raid box, so they would still count. But yeah, that's raid. That's raid and the mechanic in general, because I think that is the most confusing mechanic that they have in the game. But I think it is simple enough to understand once you understand and you've seen raid used or explained to you, at least.
And I'll say I didn't really understand raid for either pre-release or the first tournament we played in, and as a result, I really didn't play with anything that had raid in it, just hoping not to have to worry about actual rules. But these raid cards, they are pretty strong, so you're doing yourself a disservice if you're not playing with the raid cards, considering the effects that come with that.
Agreed. Like, I didn't understand them, and now that I'm understanding them, like, I mean, I think I said several times when we were talking about this game, like, I don't understand why the mechanic, like, if the mechanic's going to be even all that useful. Like if it
It
had
seemed
went
like
the
card
way,
advantage. It seemed like you were spending a card on top of a guy that could very easily be removed, right?
yeah,
Or something. And like I mean, looking at it, it seems like those early days of Yu-Gi-Oh when nobody really understood how to play Yu-Gi-Oh. We'd all just watch this show and we're like, this is kind of how it is. I don't care about summoning costs. I'm gonna play someone's Skull Turn.
just
That
gonna
kind of thing.
play things down like they do in the show.
And granted, that was a very fun way to play. That's not the way that the way that the game is intended to play, or its strategic like ceiling and floor was severely impacted by people playing like that. But at the same time, if you're not hurt, if you're playing your own group, sure, go for that. But if we're playing tournaments like we have been, we've got to make sure that the rules we're playing by are right.
Exactly. Um, I'd love for a regionals to happen with this. I'd love to go to it at least once. Do you know how long it's been since I've spent all day playing at a regionals?
Did you go with us when we were doing the PTQs for Magic? Pro Tour qualifiers?
PTQs?
Yeah.
I think I did one,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's still been a while.
Yeah. I just remember getting smashed by Ulamog behind the Aetherworks Marvel.
I remember that combo.
Salty times.
I bet. But yeah, no, like I can imagine that a a day of do it like of a regionals of this, like just hanging out with other people that are playing anime or like anime and stuff and just talking about it, seeing people watching it on their phones or having it set up, like, and just thinking about the abilities to not just have a merch booth that's just cards.
Yeah. No, you could have merch move that's action figures.
Like it
Issues that
could
signed stuff like no the potential for a Grand Prix that's bigger than a Magic Grand Prix is huge here, and I hope somebody takes a hold of it. I know I don't have. I mean, yeah, we work in trade show business, but we could possibly get a hold of some stuff that did that kind of thing. But there's better brains for that than me. I'll say that much for organizing events like this.
Bandai being the company that they are, they have the potential to really either allow this thing to die, like the video we watched earlier,
Yeah,
the guy was suggesting, or they can have it be successful. And I mean, it is hard to, I guess, get behind Bandai TCGs, especially considering they have let so many die. And even before this came out, like I think it was like day of, they announced the Gundam TCG, which I will more than likely try to pick up and play too, just because Gundam.
yeah.
So
I don't fault you for that.
yeah, it's difficult, like, to expect this to have a future, but at the same time, I kind of want it to because it's dealing with anime, and you're
It's
right,
something there's a
like
lot of passion about. And another thing is like one of the things I kind of like about it, despite being able to be a competitive game to take part in, um, the cognitive load when playing a match isn't super high, right? You've got a finite amount of turns. You've got 30 minutes right now from our experience. You've got 30 minutes to get your match done, and once you're done, it's all right. Cool. Let's talk about anime. This is fun too. Like
yeah,
he in that video that we watched, he referred to it as a very casual card game to not like get behind it super hard for competitive wise. I think you can. Yeah, I still think you can get behind it competitive wise. It's luckily not going to be that super mentally taxing like Magic or like high end one turn wild stuff in Yu-Gi-Oh kind of stuff. And there's another card game that was like really really deep as far as the strategy goes. I forgot its name, but game like you finished a tournament playing it and you were zapped, right? The tournament we played in Friday, I wasn't zapped. I had a good time. I
oh
went home
dude,
and raided, dude. Like it was great.
like we left that hyped, energized. I mean, we hung out for another what 2-3 hours just talking about it, talking about the potential and other things.
Yeah, experience of FNM was okay. God, that was a night. I played how many rounds? 4, 5, 6? I don't know. I can't see straight. What's tomorrow? I don't know. It doesn't matter. Let's go home, go sleep. Ugh. Like nobody wanted to talk afterwards. It was especially unless you're playing red, but that's why I played red half the time. Like, I don't feel like putting a whole lot of thought into this. Let's just swing sideways. Let's go.
But yeah, I mean, it's completely in Bandai's hands on what they want to do. And I mean, if they do want to like put a little bit of money at it or throw a little bit of money at it for the first, I would say year. Like if it's still not doing anything after a year, sure, pull back.
I think it's on the list that's not one of their IPs.
I don't know. I'd have to look at their list again. But
And you've already got the source material. Your designers get to work with something that's already out there, and all they're not doing bottom up design. They're doing top down, or no, they're not doing top down design, creating something out of scratch. They're doing bottom up design where they've got a foundation and it can work. Like that's unless a designer really wants to put their stamp on something that's hey, that's definitely mine. You know, like this is the way that you get designers to be able to put stuff out for quick and cheap. You know. So I mean, I don't think the investment on Bandai is going to need to be that high to put out a decent product.
So this is going to be counterintuitive, but I don't think they put a lot of money into, making the product better. I think animes alone will bring people to, wanting to play it and do it. I think the where you get the hype is you have these regionals events and like official events like what Bandai does, and you either offer or you have like so, but this would require them to keep up with what the meta is or whatever their biggest selling set is. You have a voice actor from the character, or you have the director or the animators come to these events, and you have them have booths and stuff. And
I don't think that's that difficult though. Like, and that can be a cash cow, you know. Who doesn't want to go to an anime convention and play a card game and hang out with a voice actor and have a good time? Like that sounds like the best con I've ever seen.
I mean, right? But again, like it's probably not that big of an investment, and I'm sure they could throw enough money at them that even if they had something planned like for another convention, they weigh their options. Or even like, I mean, how cool would it be that one of the prizes for an event is that you get to have dinner with the voice actor?
Dude, yeah, dinner with the voice actor. All right, here's here's the entire compendium of this manga that the guy wrote, and he signed each and every volume. Like it's not monetary reward. It didn't cost us a whole lot as Bandai, but here you go. Good luck. Let's go.
Even this would be even cooler, right?
Yeah.
So if there is a manga tie-in like with Hunter x Hunter, send an entire set to Tagashi and have him autograph every single card, and the winner gets the signed set. This is a one of one. Every single card in the set is signed.
Or like a cut sheet, like an uncut sheet, like what they have for some sets. No,
I mean, I guess you could do uncut set. That would be a lot more economical. But I was thinking of like every single card and just have him sign every.
You're sitting here for all 200 cards in this set. I don't know how many in the set, but you're sitting here and signing 200 times on every single one of these cards.
No, fucking! They're having a stamp made with their signature. But I mean, there's just some ideas. The possibility I feel is endless. Like they're definitely going to go a lot harder on the Gundam game. Like the Gundam TCG, yeah, there's no way they're not just putting more effort into that than this.
Well, we already know Gundam just makes money hand over fists
The
with whatever gets put out.
model
Like
kits.
they don't even have to put up put out fresh new content for Gundam, and it's still making them money.
Dude, I just spent $300 on models. Yeah, it's making money, and I wasn't the only one. I was probably at the low end of people that spent money at that event.
Yeah. I hope they may let it be a flat burger, but I hope they see the potential they've got here, where their fandom's at, and some of the stuff they can just do with it. It's not gonna be that hard to get cool conventions going, and yeah, I've got hopes. Let's see how it goes. Anything else going
on? Yeah, I mean, yeah, I've got hopes for it too, but if they, because this was released in Japan over a year ago, I think you can follow how much effort they're willing to put into it in the home of anime, right?
Yeah.
And if they're not willing to put in the effort there, what hopes do we have unless they just really see the Western audience as that, dude, they're the cash cows. They're going to spend money no matter what on this.
Yeah.
So, but last thing, and then I think we're going to get out of here. I don't know how long we've been going, but it been a minute.
It's been a good bit. We're probably about to